Be honest, how many of your thoughts today have revolved around food? What to eat, what not to eat, what you shouldn't have had. And that's in inverted commas, by the way. Here's the truth. If food is always at the center of your mental universe, then you're not free. And freedom is the real goal. So let's get started today. I want to start with highlighting the fact that food, nutrition, it was never meant to be the main character. Women, we have been conditioned, as I mentioned yesterday, to obsess over calories, portion sizes, and diet rules, as though our entire worth depends upon what we eat. It's an all-out obsession, and as you know, the big food corporations are cashing in big time by producing these delicious, addictive foods that are essentially driving the whole world into an unprecedented state of obesity. Okay, we have an obesity epidemic. It is a huge, massive problem. All right, now, let's not go down that rabbit hole and into how easily we could stop this. But, money talks and big food is cashing in. So what do? They sell us the problem and they now sell us the solution through the pharma companies owned by exactly the same people. They have an end-to-end source of income, which, while business is booming, they sell you the problem, they get you addicted to their foods, they get you focused on all of this, and suddenly you gain the weight, it's out of control, you're addicted. And what happens next? Oh, we can solve it for you. Here's your solution in one easy jab. No. When food is the centerpiece of life, when it's the centerpiece of joy, creativity, and everything you do, it revolves around food. Now, we're very creative people, and I'm very creative. I understand the value of experimenting, doing fun things with your food. I get it, right? But when food is the centerpiece of your life, when literally all of your hookups with your friends, all of your, I should say meetups, okay? That did not sound the way it was meant to sound. When all of your meetups with your friends, when all of your family occasions, when absolutely everything is centered around food, your happiness shrinks, your creativity shrinks, your confidence shrinks. Why? Because you're constantly revolving your life around food. But today, I'm going to be discussing decentering food and essentially some helpful habits and real things that you can put into practice. Because decentering food isn't about eating less. It's not about pretending it doesn't exist. But it's actually about reclaiming your energy. The energy that you would have been spending thinking about this, preparing all of this, planning all of this, for everything else that you were born to do in life. Okay, so I've got one strategy here for you. And this is a strategy that I use every day. And that's automate your choices. And no, I don't have a little robot come in for me and prepare me lunch. But essentially this is all about decision fatigue. Okay, so decision fatigue is when you can get so anxious and stressed over all the different choices, all the different options, thinking about, oh my gosh, what's going to be healthy? How am I going to have variety in my diet? All of that. But all of that actually fuels obsession. So what you're going to do is you're going to pick a default breakfast and lunch that you repeat daily or most days. Now, you probably already do this. That's the beauty of it. You probably already do this. And in that case, choose something you know is healthy. Or maybe you've been looking to start a new version of eating, a new diet, or something you've been putting off because you're like, I am so overwhelmed. I spoke before about my transition onto a more carnivore aligned diet where basically I heavily reduced the amount, I pretty much eliminated all of the complex of the processed foods. I completely eliminated processed foods and also carbohydrates. pretty much from my diet, and I have never felt better. I have never looked better. You can hear more about that a few videos back if you're interested to find out more. But essentially, at first that was completely overwhelming for me. I knew the benefits. I knew how good this would be for my body. I just felt it was the next step for me in terms of my health and wellness, and I was very overwhelmed how to start. But I just time blocked. I allocated some time to this. I was like, I'm going to sit down for maybe like half an hour. That's all it's going to take. It don't need to be overwhelmed. I'll take half an hour whenever I can find it. I will do some research. I'll come up with a lunch that I can have every single day. Let me kid you not, every single day, probably 5 out of 7 days, I'm having the exact same lunch. I don't have breakfast. I let my body rest a bit. And I'm happier when I'm just eating 2 bigger meals. So I don't have breakfast, I have coffee. Some people are going to be screaming like, that's not good for your adrenals. I know, I get it. I know. But I do that. And I then move on to my lunch. I have a really big lunch. Lunch is my biggest meal of the day. And I have one lunch that I pretty much have every single day. It's totally nutrient rich. And it is amazing, because all I have to do is every couple of days I'm meal prepping the exact same thing. I'm meal prepping and letting it cool down in my glass Tupperwares to make sure it's nice and healthy and it's not coated in plastic. Let it cool down, pop it in the fridge, and then it's reheated whenever I need to use it. Now, is that difficult? Now, my children, my husband, they eat different things from me, so I'm still preparing for them, fine. But at least I'm covered. At least I don't have to think about it. At least I feel strong, healthy, and my choices are easy. So it's not boring. It's actually liberating, because the stress is reduced so much. Now, freeing up brain space when you do this, it allows you to focus on creating, building, and living. Let me tell you, some days now, I'm like, by 10:30, I've meal prepped. I've got the children ready and out to school. I've already tidied up. I've already done everything I need to do. I've already been on maybe a couple of miles walk or something by 10:30 in the morning. So, and I've also recorded and uploaded a podcast. So it allows me to just free up so much time. I do this as well at night time before I go to bed with my routine. Now, I'm not going to go into that too much. I set out all my clothes, my skincare, everything's organised. Everything for me, my choices are automated. It's done. I have a system, I have a routine. If you want to find out about that, there is an amazing video on that. It's about streamlining your life. It's about designing your dream day, your most perfect day. It's about setting up these systems and processes. If you want me to link it, just I will try and link it here somewhere if I remember, but pop your comment below and I will send that to you. I have an amazing resource on that for you as well. But let's move on. Automate your choices, okay? That was the first one. So strategy number 2, what you're going to do is you're going to anchor yourself with non-food rituals. So what is it like? Like, oh, something great happens at work, you get a promotion, you buy a bottle of champagne. If it's a birthday, you have your sweet treats, you have your beautiful boutique chocolates, you have your gorgeous cake, you go out for dinner. Think about it. Instead of rewarding, soothing, or celebrating with food, you've had a bad day, that's it, I'm just going to go and get some chocolates and a cup of tea and we'll sit here and we'll cozy up. No, it's like you need to create some non-food rituals that are going to replace these. Now, it's just all about replacing one habit with another positive one. It's so easy to do that. And the really key thing here is what we're essentially looking for is a dopamine fix. We're always looking for a dopamine fix. And I know more than anyone, this is where it all starts. If you've ever had any addictions in your life, if you've ever had maybe even sugar addictions, food addictions, social media addictions, anything like that, what you need to understand is the addiction isn't about the thing. It's actually not about the thing. It's about your addiction to dopamine, your addiction to soothing yourself. Dopamine is one of the things, or your, let's call them vices, whatever they may be. These, and it can be foods, can be, I would hazard a guess that many people don't even realise that they have addictions to foods and sugar. They don't even know that they're doing it. They wouldn't like to admit that. Not all people are honest enough and big enough to actually stand up and say, oh, I'm actually in this habit and I feel so comfortable when I do this. Not many people are big enough to stand up and say, hey, yeah, I am, but let's look at this, let's work this out. It takes a lot of courage to actually stand up and say, yeah, it's really addictive. Yeah, it really got me. But what we're going to do, we're going to find methods of soothing ourselves that don't use these things. For example, what would I do if it had been a long day and I just wanted some peace? At the end of the day, I would sit down, I would cozy up, I would get my cup of tea. I used to love Oatly Barista. It's the oat milk. Oh, so good. And you know what? I can't have that anymore. Do you know why? Sometimes I still miss it to this day. It is full of oils, which will destroy the cells in my body. It's full of these horrible oils that are just so bad for me. Sugars. It's not even milk. It's just this thing that tastes so good. And, so I had to eliminate it from my diet. And I still think about it to this day. I'm mourning the loss of Oatly Barista. But you need to think to yourself, right, what things can I incorporate into my life that I love doing? So things that you'll enjoy, things that you'll like, okay? So don't incorporate things that you don't like. That's just going to make everything harder. So don't say, right, I'm going to stop snacking at night. I'm going to stop watching Netflix. Instead, I'm going to the gym and I'm going to do this really hard session every night. No, just be like, well, do you know what? I could actually just sit on the bike or go on the treadmill or go on a walk and I can listen to my favourite podcast or my favourite Netflix show or my favourite whatever I want. So you're actually tying something that you love to something that's a new positive habit. So try that one. Let me know in the comments below if you're getting any ideas from this or what you might do. Next one, hot bath with oils. This is something I haven't done in forever, but it's a nice idea. Something I like to do is face masks, and that's good. But yeah, the hot bath sounds amazing. Something that I guess has been on my list for a while, and I think this is the push for me to actually do it. You can put on some music, you can do some reading, art, whatever makes you excited. Maybe a new passion project of yours, maybe something creative or digital creations or whatever, I don't know, just something exciting. But these rituals build self-trust and they help you to separate comfort from just consumption of all of these foods that have been keeping you stuck. So again, it's just teaching yourself not to rely on the foods, on the sugars, on the snacks, on the things that have been weighing you down. You won't believe the difference that you can make in terms of your body composition when you just cut out these, I'm going to call them bad foods. They say there's no such thing. Come on, let's not kid ourselves. There's bad foods, all right. And they're really insidious because when you start getting into habit of eating them, they're really bad for your body, so let's just call them what they are. We might not like to hear it, but we're going to keep ourselves stuck if we don't. So next strategy for you, reclaim your emotional fuel. So emotional hunger is often disguised as physical hunger, right? So this was always a big one for me, and it still is sometimes. At that time in the month, I just want to eat some comfort food. I just want to drink my tea. I just want to do something. But I was a real comfort eater. I'm not going to say that I am now because I'm not going to identify with that. But I'm going to say that it is a real challenge for me at certain times not to be swayed into going for unhealthy options. But next time a craving hits you, basically just pause and ask yourself, am I actually hungry? Or am I tired? Am I bored? Am I lonely? Am I seeking comfort? What is it? Because let me tell you that for many years of my life, food was a very big emotional comfort for me. If I was feeling sad, if I was feeling stressed, if I was feeling unhappy, if I was feeling anything, I would use food and it would help me through that time. I'm a very emotional person, and if you're like that too, let me know in the comments. If you are a very emotional, intuitive person, then you will possibly feel that too. And I just had to come to the realization that, well, I could either just stick with that for the rest of my life, and that's very painful, or I could just work it out in my mind, like what was really going on here, and understand that this doesn't have to be forever, but it was just a pattern that was created, and patterns can easily be broken by bringing in new ones. So if you're somebody who's in that situation and feels that, let me know in the comments, and I will give you some more strategies for that, because I can really understand how you feel. But learning to feed your soul instead of just your stomach is a power move. Last night I felt so I'll tell you a very funny story before we move on to the last one. Last night I was saying to my husband about, it's amazing how good I feel, it's amazing how energized I am, blah, 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 when I eat these certain foods. But at the same time, sometimes I do feel that I would love a piece of cake. For example, we had some birthday cake because it was that occasion. Now, I didn't have the birthday cake, and I was talking about it to him, and he's got all his chocolates and all his nice things, and with a cup of tea. I said, sometimes I just get a little bit fed up that I can't have something sweet with my tea. For example, I've got my tea with my whole organic milk. I don't even like it. I don't even like the milk. It tastes terrible. But I just have to do it now. That's just what I have to do. So, and he was like, no, typical man. Yeah. And literally, as he's talking to me, goes into the cupboard and pulls out he pulls out the cake. Literally in that second when I'm talking. And I honestly, I was like, are you kidding me? Are you actually kidding? Like, I'm laughing out of sheer disbelief, because it was a laugh or cry moment. I wasn't even like emotionally pulled towards the cake. I wasn't never going to eat it. It wasn't even the thing. But it was just, sometimes you feel emotional. You're mourning the loss of something, right? And it was that time of the month for me, feeling that way, like, just, how you feel. You have no... How can I say, like, my BS monitor is down. I just have to try extra hard to be calm, to be nice. I just don't have the energy that I normally would. I feel great. I feel I have good energy. Something about my mood had dipped slightly. And I was just like, are you kidding me? So yeah, again, what did I do? Well, I was like, okay, I'm not going to sit with you while you eat your cake, because... I wasn't even annoyed about the cake. I think it was just the fact that he clearly wasn't listening to a word I was saying, because who else would have done that? I don't know. So I was just like, right, okay, I'm just going to take myself upstairs. I'm going to tuck in. I'm going to got my tea. I'm going to do some research on something I was looking at, and I'm just going to relax. And that's what I did instead. So that, at that point, and again, I had my lights were all dim. I had my Himalayan salt lamp. Everything was nice and calm and relaxing, and I was like, I should do this more often. I don't ever go to bed and relax until it's time for sleep. So it was nice and early. It was about 8 o'clock, and that's what I did. So again, that could be a nice way for you to reclaim your emotional fuel. Right, let's move on. So last point for today, live a bigger life. Live a bigger life. I'm not even joking about this one. Food becomes smaller when your life becomes bigger, right? Organize more things in your life. Now, if you're like me, you're kind of drained by people a lot of the time. I don't know why this is, okay? They call it being an introvert. Sometimes I'm drained by people, but not all the time. But sometimes I feel very, very drained and need my own space. But at the same time, I'm still not going to be a recluse. At the same time, I know this, but I'm still going to do what I can to build up my energy, and I'm going to make intentional space in my life to meet up with like other moms, friends, family, people that are important in my life, people who add to my life, okay? And I'm going to do that because being a mama is hard. It's hard, and you sometimes just need to talk to somebody else. And when you're at home, or husbands, they are not created to provide emotional support, however much we would like that to be. Sometimes you just need to get out, have fun, find out about someone else's life, and also allow that creative outlet to spark within you. So food becomes so much smaller when your life becomes bigger. So you're going to start investing in projects, in friendships, in passions or skills that pull your energy forward. Even things like just going to the gym. So the more fulfilled you are, the less food becomes your main event. And let me tell you, the more fulfilled you are and the more is going on in your life, the less time you're going to have to think about all this. And what to do again is anchor it in. So if you're the person who's used to going for a coffee date and having the big mocha chocolata, like what's it called, these frappuccinos and these big drinks and these like 700 calorie drinks, just be like, no, I drink Americanos. 0 calories, 0 sugar. Or maybe you're like, oh no, I drink my tea, my herbal tea, I drink my matcha, I drink my green tea, I drink my this or that, whatever it may be. Do what makes you feel good whilst you're in that moment, because when you're with other people and you're having fun, you're not really going to notice that much the fact that you're not drinking a 700 calorie drink, and you've basically saved yourself all of that inflammation, all that detoxification that you need to do later. Just think about your choices. So the more fulfilled you are in life and the more you have going on in your life, the less food becomes your main event, and that's when things can really change for you. So food obsession isn't solved by another diet. No, it's solved by reclaiming your energy. If you're ready to break free from food running your life and you want to step into a calm, powerful control, then you can start now with your personalised spark activation. The spark activation is basically your blueprint. It's just for you. It's totally unique to you. And it's going to help you to shift from obsession into freedom so that you can embody the woman who doesn't need food to cope, because she's already full of power. It doesn't control her life. So you're going to find a link to that below. But remember, I have tons of resources, amazing videos on this topic in the Manifest Your Dream Body playlist. I have a meditation for you to manifest your dream body. But I can't wait to see you in tomorrow's video. And I can't wait to see you, in Monday's video, if you're seeing this in real time. And I can't wait to see you in the Spark Activation if that's for you. Have an amazing day. You've got this. And don't forget to like the video and drop a comment below on how this has impacted your mindset. Sending you so much love, and I'll see you in the next one.